Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions day after day with no real spark or enthusiasm left? Do you drag yourself out of bed each morning, wondering where all your motivation went? If you're nodding along, you're not alone. Today, we're diving into a problem that's all too common: burnout and lack of motivation. But here's the twist. We're going to tackle this modern-day challenge with some ancient wisdom that stood the test of time. Imagine for a moment that you could sit down and have a heart-to-heart with some of the wisest people who ever lived. Picture yourself in ancient Rome or Greece, surrounded by philosophers who spent their entire lives figuring out how to live well, even in the face of adversity. These thinkers, known as the Stoics, developed practical strategies for dealing with life's challenges that are surprisingly relevant to our lives today. So let's explore how their time-tested wisdom can help us reignite our motivation and beat burnout. First up, let's talk about control. One of the core principles of Stoicism is focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. In our modern lives, we're often overwhelmed by a constant barrage of information, expectations, and responsibilities. It's easy to feel like we're drowning in a sea of tasks and worries. But here's the thing. A lot of what stresses us out is actually outside of our control. The Stoics would advise us to take a step back and really examine what we can and can't influence. Try this. Take a moment right now to think about what's been weighing on your mind lately. Maybe it's a difficult project at work, tension in a relationship, or concerns about the future. Now, ask yourself, what aspects of this situation can you actually control? Maybe you can't control your boss's mood, but you can control the quality of your work. You can't control how someone else feels about you, but you can control how you treat them. By shifting your focus to what you can influence, you'll start to feel a sense of empowerment returning. This isn't about ignoring problems, it's about directing your energy where it can actually make a difference. Now let's talk about gratitude. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in always wanting more: a better job, a nicer car, a bigger house. But the Stoics knew that true contentment comes from appreciating what we already have. This isn't about settling or giving up on your ambitions. It's about finding joy and motivation in your current circumstances while working towards your goals. Here's a practical way to cultivate gratitude. Start and end each day by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe it's the warm cup of coffee you had this morning, a kind word from a colleague, or the comfortable bed you sleep in. By regularly practicing gratitude, you're training your mind to focus on the positive aspects of your life. This can be a powerful antidote to the negativity that often fuels burnout. Another key Stoic principle is the idea of embracing discomfort. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't the whole point to feel better? Why would I want to be uncomfortable? But hear me out. The Stoics believed that growth and resilience come from facing challenges head-on. When we're feeling burnt out, it's tempting to retreat into our comfort zones. But that's often exactly what keeps us stuck. Instead, try this. Each week, do one thing that's outside your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting if you're usually quiet, trying a new type of exercise, or reaching out to an old friend you've lost touch with. By gradually pushing your boundaries, you're building confidence and reminding yourself of your capabilities. This can reignite a sense of growth and progress that's often missing when we're feeling burnt out. Now let's dive into a concept that's at the heart of Stoic philosophy: living according to your values. In our busy lives, it's easy to get caught up in what we think we should be doing rather than what truly matters to us. This disconnect can be a major source of burnout and lack of motivation. The Stoics would encourage us to take a step back and really examine our core values. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What kind of person do I want to be? What legacy do I want to leave? These aren't easy questions, but they're crucial. Once you've identified your core values, the next step is to align your actions with them. This might mean making some tough decisions or changes in your life. But here's the thing. When your actions are in line with your values, you'll find a deep sense of purpose and motivation that can carry you through even the toughest times. For example, if one of your core values is creativity, but your current job doesn't allow for any creative expression, that misalignment could be contributing to your feelings of burnout. The solution might not be to quit your job immediately, but perhaps to look for ways to incorporate creativity into your work, or to pursue creative hobbies outside of work. By honoring your values, you're nourishing your soul and reigniting your inner fire. Let's move on to another powerful Stoic technique, cultivating mindfulness. In our hyper-connected world, it's all too easy to get lost in a whirlwind of thoughts about the past or worries about the future. We're rarely fully present in the moment. The Stoics, much like practitioners of meditation, understood the power of focusing on the present. Here's a simple mindfulness exercise you can try right now. Take a deep breath and focus all your attention on the sensation of the air moving in and out of your body. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the feeling of the air in your nostrils. If your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Do this for just 5 minutes a day, and you'll start to develop a greater sense of calm and presence. By practicing mindfulness, you're training yourself to observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. This can be incredibly powerful when dealing with burnout. Instead of getting overwhelmed by stress or negative thoughts, you can learn to observe them with a bit of distance. This doesn't mean your problems magically disappear, but it does give you the mental space to respond to challenges more effectively. Now I want to address something important. If you're dealing with severe burnout or depression, these Stoic techniques aren't a substitute for professional help. It's always okay to reach out to a mental health professional if you're struggling. What we're discussing here are tools to complement that support and to help build long-term resilience. As we wrap up, I want you to remember something crucial. Burnout isn't a life sentence. It's a sign that something in your life needs to change, and you have the power to make that change. The Stoic philosophers faced immense challenges in their time: wars, exile, slavery, and yet they found ways to live with purpose and tranquility. Their wisdom has endured for over 2,000 years because it works. So here's your challenge. Choose one of the techniques we've discussed today and commit to practicing it for the next week. Maybe it's the gratitude practice, or perhaps it's the mindfulness exercise. Whatever you choose, give it a real shot. Small, consistent actions can lead to powerful changes over time. Remember, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You have more control over your life and your mindset than you might realize. Your journey to overcoming burnout and reigniting your motivation starts now, with the choices you make today. If you found value in these timeless strategies, don't keep them to yourself. Share this video with someone who might need it. And if you want more practical, ancient wisdom applied to modern life, hit that subscribe button. Together we can build resilience, find meaning, and reignite our passion for life. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep growing.